In this video, I want to show you how you can do proper version control when you're developing Power BI reports. We're going to go through the basics of what version controlling is, what it's for, how you can use this within Power BI, and then how you can use and leverage GitHub for version control. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fernan, and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel, where we cover tips, tricks, and best practices when working with Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. So version control is essentially a way to track the changes that you've made to your code when you're developing a software. So think of it as basically taking snapshots of the code as you make changes during the development process, and it lets developers collaborate and work on the same codes, trace any errors, and revert back any changes that have been made if needed. It's a common practice amongst developers, especially when you're working with multiple developers in the same project. And it's something that's been missing in Power BI for a long time. And the reason for that is, unlike the typical files that you'd use when you're developing code, like developing a website or creating a script, the Power BI file, the format of the Power BI reports at the moment, at least in desktop, the .pbix file doesn't natively support text formatting. So that means that when you open this in a text editor, and let's say you wanted to make an update on a certain measure or add a certain visual, you can't really pinpoint from the text where that change is, which means that if you wanted to version Power BI reports in the past, you need to version the whole project file itself, as opposed to just the ones that have changed. In the past, I covered some of the ways that you can do version control in Power BI, which is essentially just natively using the SharePoint version history, which creates a snapshot of the file as you replace them. But that solution was not really that robust, and it's not really a proper way to version control your development. However, a new update has been released recently, which allows us to convert our Power BI files into sort of text formatted JSON formats that we can then use and version similar to other software development projects. So, and what I'm talking about is this Power BI project file, which was released a few months ago. And I want to show you how we can first enable this in Power BI Desktop. So here we are in Power BI Desktop, and we have one of the reports that I've built open right here. The report itself is not really relevant. I just want to show you how a finished report looks like. And at the moment, it's saved in my desktop as a .pbix file. This is the file format that Power BI Desktop recognizes. The recent change is you can now save your files into a new file format called the Power BI projects. And it's an option that you need to first enable in the preview settings. So under File, Options and Settings, and then Options. If we go to Preview Features, you need to make sure that this option, Power BI project.pbip save option, is enabled. Once that is enabled, just make sure you restart your Power BI Desktop. So if I hit File and Save As, this will let me choose Power BI project files as an option to save this report as. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder here, project file, and I'm gonna save into this empty folder that I've just created. And I hit save. As you can see, what it's done is it's created us 4 different files within this folder. So this is Power BI projects essentially. So there are a few different things here to understand. So first is this Power BI project file, which is now what you will use to open the report and make changes from now on. The contents of this report is now not tied to this one file, the .pbix file, but it's split into these 2 folders, so the datasets and the reports. So whenever you publish reports in the service, you know that it publishes 2 files, the datasets and the reports. But this this is abstracted for you, so you don't really see this, at least on the .pbix file. But what's most interesting about this change is that if I click on the dataset, for example, all of the definitions that you have is something that you can open in a text file. So the BIM file, for example, is the main file where all of your measures and calculations are stored for your model. We can't open it natively directly here. So we're going to open it in Notepad and Notepad++. And this lets you view all of the different measures and calculations that I've set up in the model. So, and it's in this format, this JSON format, which is something that is readable and that you can kind of modify by yourself if you wanted to. I know that there is a way for you to just update this here and your Power BI reports will update, but we're not going to go through too much about that. For now, just for you to understand that instead of now having all of our files, our Power BI project into this one PBIX file, it's now split into this text formatted files, which we can then use for version control. So let's go back to the project file and let's open this new file type that we have, the Power BI.pbip project file. So as you can see, or at the very least from my perspective, everything looks exactly the same as you would open a Power BI PBIX file. You can update your pages, you can create new measures. The only difference is that as you make them, instead of it being saved on this one file PBIX, your changes get saved in one of these folders depending on what the changes that you've made. So if you've added a new measure, it will get added to the BIM file in the dataset. And if you make changes to the report itself, this folder and all of these files will get updated. So that's the distinction that at least we have at the moment. There are a few limitations, at least at the moment, with the PBIP files. The first thing that you probably notice is that the sensitivity label is not available, as well as the publish to Power BI service. So if you want to publish your reports into the service, you need to convert your project file into a PBIX file first before you can publish. And to convert it back into a PBIX file is actually very simple. You just need to go to File, Save As, and this will let you save this back into a .pbix file, which you can then publish into the service like you normally would. So now that we have converted our Power BI project files into sort of these text formats, let's go through the basics of how you can version your reports using GitHub. In order to get started with GitHub, you need two things. First thing that you need is an account for GitHub. So this is signing up to github.com. It's free. And basically this is what we're going to use to publish all of our version history on the web, and especially useful if you're working with multiple users. So everyone would have access to this project. The next thing that you'll need is something called the GitHub desktop. This is a free software that you can install on your desktop, and it lets you connect to the directories of the files that you have within your local machine. It will let you track changes that you make, and then finally be able to do those commits to create those snapshots for your reports and projects as you make them. This is also what you will use to publish any of the changes that you've made into GitHub, so the web version of it, so that your users, your other developers can collaborate on it too. I'm using GitHub Desktop at the moment just because this is the only one that I found the easiest, but you can use any other tool that is available for you that can do version control. So that might be Visual Studio, which I know it natively allows, or you can use the Git Bash, which is the terminal-based Git tool that lets you control your version history, but instead of having a UI, it will be on a kind of terminal. So before we start with this version control demo, I just want to be clear that I'm not an expert at doing this version history. I only know the sort of the basic gist of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the 3 things that I would want to do at a minimum for this versioning to be effective. We want to be able to create the repository. We want to be able to commit and publish all of the changes into our repository, and then finally give us the ability to revert any of the changes that we've made to previous versions. So these 3 would be the key things that will benefit us when we are developing Power BI reports. So from GitHub Desktop, what you'll need to do is to add an existing repository, because we've already got the repository here. We'll just say I want the project file folder. And then here it says the directory does not appear to be a Git repository. Would you like to create a repository instead? So we'll just hit create, and then we'll just say iPhone reviews tests, and then we'll leave everything empty for now. We'll just hit create repo. And here is what it's done. So this is GitHub Desktop, essentially. You have one branch, which is the main branch where all of the changes are being made. Then you can have multiple projects because you can have multiple projects. We have two tabs here, the changes, which tracks any of the changes that will or have been made in that repository that we have just created. And then the history is basically all of the snapshots that you've created of your codes and what has changed in that snapshot. So at the moment, we've only created one snapshot, which is the initial commit, which is essentially just adding all of these files that we have into the repository. So that's what it means here, the pluses. So these are all the files that we've added into this repo. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to start by publishing this first onto GitHub. We're just going to name this one iPhone reviews Power BI. And then we'll keep it private just because we're testing it. So we'll hit publish repository. You'll see it starts to push this onto the web. So now it's finished. So what we're going to do is click view on GitHub, which will open up that repository that we've created. So congratulations, you've done your first version control in GitHub. So now that we have the version control set up, we've done our first commits. Let's see what happens when we start developing our reports in this Power BI project file and how you can start versioning this in GitHub. So I'm going to minimize this for now. And here we are back in my Power BI projects file. I'm going to start by, let's just say, for example, I want to add a new measure here that might be useful. I'm going to create a measure called test2. And I'm just going to type something. This is a test measure, please delete. So now that we've made that, we're going to hit file and save. And now let's see what it will show us here in GitHub Desktop. So as you can see, it's detected that something has changed. So, and what it's done is it looked for, I'm just expanding it, where that change has happened. So it's noticed that the changes happened on the BIM file, which is where I was talking about earlier about the dataset. And it shows us exactly where that change has happened. So it looks like we've added a new measure, which wasn't there before. And that's what it's highlighting here in green. So there are two boxes, the before on the left-hand side, and then the after, so where that got pushed into. So that is sort of what version control sort of allows us to do. It lets us track those individual changes within our either model or within our report. So let's say we're happy with this change that we've made. We have a snapshot of the report when we first initially committed it, which means that we can go back to it later. But we want to use this version moving forward with the changes that we've made. This is a good point in your software development to start version controlling, to create a new version, a new snapshot of your code pertaining to the changes that you've made. So that's what the option on the bottom left does for you. So what it will allow you to do is it will let you add a title to this version that you want to create and add an even more verbose description so that when your other developers look at what's changed, they can refer to your comments so that they would know what has changed in that code base that you've done. So let's say added a new test measure, added a measure to check version control. So I'm just going to add some description there just as an example. And then we're going to hit commit from here, commits to main. So now that change has been committed. We're going to push this to origin, which is just updating the version that we have in GitHub. So now if we go to view on GitHub again, you will see that that change that we've made is showing up now here in this folder because this is where we have updated. So this is the title of the change that we've created. And these are from the initial commit. So these haven't changed since we did the first initial commit. Let's do a few more things just to show you the kind of power of version controlling and when it would be useful, apart from obviously creating snapshots. So let's say let's say we've accidentally deleted one of our files here. So let's delete this PBIP file. In our GitHub desktop, it shows as red, which means that this file has been deleted. Let's commit this deleted PBIP file and hit commit to main. Let's push it to origin, which updates GitHub. Now, if we open GitHub online, you will see that in this folder, it's in this repository at the very least, it's gone. In our local file, this PBIP file is also gone. But let's say this file is gone, but we changed our mind. We actually found out that this file is super useful because this is how we'll be able to update our datasets and report files within this project file folder. How do you then revert those changes that you've made to delete this file? So it turns out you can do it very simply. in GitHub desktop. So from GitHub desktop, you just need to go to history here, this history tab, and this step where we've deleted the project file, you can right click on it and hit revert changes in commit. So what it will do is it will create a new version where it's restored that file that you've deleted into your local folder. So if we open the local folder now, the Power BI project file is back there. And to restore it in the GitHub web, all we need to do is just make sure that we push that new commit to restore that file there. So now if we go back to that, you'll see that we have now reverted that file. And that's really it for this video. I hope you now know how easy it is to start doing version controls for your Power BI reports and make your development lives a little bit easier. If you want to learn more about version controls and the sort of limitations that the Power BI projects file feature has, I'll leave a link to the blog posts in the description box below. Thanks for watching as usual. Give this video a like if you found it useful. Give it a dislike if you didn't, so I know to do better for next time. Ask your questions in the comment section box below so I can help you and you can help others. If you really like this video, we have a Patreon page where you can support the channel and get exclusive perks like early access, demo files, and credits at the end of these videos. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one.